Quick announcement before the episode. Not only do we now have merch, including special edition guest merch featuring Sean Macguire, but we are also now on Patreon. $5 a month gets you early access and behind the scenes content. $3 a month just shows your support if you like what we do. Link is in the description of this episode and our link tree in our Instagram bio. Now back to the episode.
Welcome back, oily turds. They say if you ride back through the old camps late at night, you can still hear them. The voices of the West. Tonight, one of those voices rides with us. Mick Mellamphy, the man who brought to life Sean Macguire, the loudest, proudest, most reckless little Donegal gobshite to ever talk a dog off a meat wagon. And try to rob Dutch Mandolin at gunpoint, and live to tell the tale. Until he didn't. Pull up a stool, grab a drink, and get comfortable for a few rounds on Sean. No grand plan, no speech from Dutch, just good stories and good company.
I'm Sam.
I'm Zai.
And this is the Outlaw Haven.
Well done there, Shaniqua. Although I have to tell you, poor Sean's not from Donegal. He was only messing around. He's a good old Dublin lad.
Yeah,
so
I know. That was like one of the things because it's like all of it's Donegal in game, but I'm like, that's not a Donegal accent.
You're dead right. And you know my excuse there's no excuse. Sean likes to fib his way in and out of places. He uses his charm. He uses his wit. And in that particular scene, when he was trying to sneak Arthur into the manor house, onto the grounds there of Braithwaite Manor, I think it was, He had to use every little bit of charm and wit that he could. So he started plummossing, as we say in Ireland, about being from the lovely hills of Donegal. And sure, the poor feckin' MC who got it in the end didn't have a clue where Donegal was, or Dublin. So that's what the true story was. You're the first ones to hear the story out of the horse's mouth.
Well, there we go.
Very cool.
And I love Shaniqua's intro. That was brilliant.
Thank you, Shaniqua. Before we get started today, we need to do a couple shout outs. We want to give a huge shout out to our friend Shaniqua Romeo-Davidson for today's intro and likely more upcoming intros. She's a talented voice actor and Twitch streamer, and her username is Shani Retro on Twitch and Instagram. We also need to give a huge shout out to Mary. Her Instagram name is Mischief Mary. She did some thorough research for today's episode and was very kind enough to give us all of that information. So big shout outs to them. They're great friends. Go follow them. And also Mary is a very talented artist. So
insanely talented.
Check her out.
Mary's awesome. Mary traveled all the way to Cork in Ireland to see me in a play last year, which I absolutely loved. And she got to sit next to me ma and me da.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's great to see her.
She just went on a trip to Ireland like a week ago.
Yeah.
Oh, did she really?
That. She did.
I didn't see that.
I'm so jealous.
We just booked a trip to Ireland there yesterday. Myself and my wife Jessica, who I'm going to give a shout out to because she supports everything I do, and I wouldn't be doing any of this if it wasn't for her love and attention and care. We all need supporters in our lives. So yeah, Jessica and I, we booked our trip home to Ireland this summer yesterday. So everyone's going to Ireland. We're all excited.
Nice.
Take me with you.
Right?
I need it here.
You guys gotta go. You'd love it. They'd love you there. You'd have a great time. You know? It's only 6 hours from New York. You go up, you have a cup of tea, and all of a sudden you're home, and it's great. There's sheep everywhere.
Lovely.
Perfect. Okay, so let's start with Mary's research here. What we have on Sean's timeline. Like I said, it is thorough.
Very.
And it's like, we know that this game is fictional, but like, Mary took it so far. Her dedication to the assignment is unmatched. So this is what we have written. Born in the mid-1870s, growing up in Donegal, Dara Macguire. My pronunciations are going to be so bad for this. But
you'll be, by the end of this, you'll be absolutely perfect, and you can fly straight to Ireland, and you won't have a problem.
Perfect.
Lovely. That's exactly what we need.
The imperialist of London, Dara Macguire was a known Fenian with a history of crimes against the empire. In the 70s, he gained a reputation as an Irish Republican politician. As stated in the newspaper clipping, eventually his activities forced him and Sean to live a life on the run. The two end up in Clifton before ultimately fleeing to America. The father and son ended up in Boston, where Dara was murdered in June of 1889 in his bed, according to Sean. He was then put into a reform school. Then he met Dutch and Hosea in a bar somewhere in North Elizabeth, where he fixated on a big, fancy pocket watch that Dutch had. He was hungry and hadn't eaten in 3 days. He was planning on robbing them both and followed the two of them out of the bar. Sean claims that he would have shot them both, but the bullets were missing from his gun. He started laughing, crying, and just when he thought that they might just kill him, Dutch and Hosea took him in, fed him, and brought him into the gang.
Sounds about right, except I do have to take a little bit of umbrage with calling my dear old dad a criminal fighting against the Empire. I'm sorry, but Darren Macguire was a freedom fighter. He was not a criminal. He was a freedom fighter fighting for what he thought was right, fighting for his people. And I think that certainly had a great influence on young Sean Macguire, who ended up fighting alongside the likes of Dutch and Hosea for what they believed was right and their opportunity to eke out a better existence for people like themselves. Fighting against the system. Yes, the system will always call you a criminal when it doesn't suit them. But yes, that's my opinion right there of that. And whether or not he was born in Donegal, I'm not sure about that. Maybe Dara was. Dara might have been from Donegal, but I kind of get the feeling because they moved around quite a bit, you're on the run, fighting against the evil empire. You probably would have spent a bit of time in Dublin, which is where the crown would have sat in Ireland. That would have been the capital of Ireland during the 1800s, and it still is to this day. And if you ever visit Ireland, a lot of the old buildings are still there. They were all built by the British Empire because Ireland, we only got our independence officially in the early 1820s, and we only became a republic in 1847 or 1849. So we're quite young. We're quite a young republic. And if you compare us to the United States is turning 250 years this year. Ireland became a republic in the late 1940s. So, we're still quite a few years away from our first centenary as a republic yet. So, yeah, Sean would have spent a lot of time in Dublin, I believe. So that's all I have to say about that.
She does talk about the Irish Republican Brotherhood, often referred to as the Fenians, an organization dedicated to the establishment of an independent democratic republic between 1858 and 1924.
Yeah, the IRB would have been the forerunners to the IRA. The IRA is what the political way, it was the part of was one of the splinter groups during the Irish Civil War, which happened right after we got some form of independence from Great Britain in the early 1820s. So the Irish Republican Brotherhood would have been active in America as well. There would have been people in America working on behalf of the IRB in the late 1800s, sending arms back to Ireland in the whole struggle for independence. So, we talk about Red Dead not necessarily being a piece of fiction, but the thing I love about the game is that they actually draw on tons of factual historical events to create this world,
Yeah, they really did their research.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah, she said this is the organization and political affiliation that would have been most likely held by Dara Macguire and is essential to understanding many of the beliefs and ideas that Sean himself also references. Like she talks about how the politics were something that were very important to Sean, and that's why she talks about. She has like 4 pages of.
Wow.
I think essentially everything that you've said.
I did new research for the part as well,
I can imagine.
You did great.
Yeah, I don't know if I did that much research, but no, it's great in the game. Like you see. I mean, the whole history, the whole idea of manifest destiny and going forth out into the Wild West and kind of creating your own destiny. That's a huge part of what the Vandal and the gang is. I love the fact that the game brings you into the world of the suffragette movement. You talk about emancipation for Black people throughout the game. It shows you kind of what was happening in the country, how we were treating Native Americans at the time, and just the whole creation of what this country was becoming in the post-Civil War years. I think it really is. It's more than just a fun piece of entertainment. It's a great piece of art that just bundles up so much history to it, and it makes it really accessible for a lot of people.
Very true. And
The Irish government is actually really great at supporting artists, both in Ireland and all around the world. So anytime there's any dignitaries come to New York, they're very good about inviting artists and actors and people to different events. And when I went to a meeting with former President Michael D. Higgins last year, I brought along a copy of Tor's book, signed by him, and I gave it to the president. So yeah, that's sitting in his library in Dublin or Galway or wherever he is now. We have a new president
so
in
cool.
Ireland now.
Very cool.
So it's really
That's
cool.
awesome.
And the other thing about Michael D. Higgins is he was a poet. He's a poet and a writer. That's what I love about back home. We elect people like that to represent us.
Sounds like Ireland really supports artists.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it makes sense. You can't really go too far anywhere in the world without hearing somebody singing an Irish song, whether it's Bono or Sinead O'Connor or Dolores Reardon or someone like that, or Kneecap, who are really popular at the moment. And with Jessie Buckley winning Best Actress recently and Cillian Murphy Best Actor last year, Ireland has been kind of exporting artists for decades. And it is kind of our little superpower is culture, whether it's storytelling, theatre, film, animation, music. It's something we love and it's something we share. And when you do go to Ireland, both of you, I think one thing that's going to really strike you is everywhere you go, you hear music. There's music literally everywhere you go. So yeah, we love our artists. The Irish government has actually brought in a project over the last couple of years where they have started giving artists a salary to be artists, where artists, I think they get €350 a week. So instead of going on unemployment while you're working on your art, it's means tested, but yeah, I think they pay up to €1,400 a month to supplement you creating your art, whether you're an actor or a writer or a playwright or a poet.
All right, well, I'm gonna go book my flight now.
Yeah, book your
Right?
flight,
I'm
marry
never
an
coming
Irish
back.
guy. Yeah, and
Yeah,
become an
time to go
Irish
and
artist. But I mean, it makes sense if you think about it, because that's kind of what our currency is around the world. That's what we're known for. And every time somebody goes to see an Irish play in New York or see some piece of Irish art that's brought from Ireland to the United States, it encourages people to go to Ireland to spend money as tourists. So I think they reckon for every dollar that's spent supporting artists in Ireland, I think it comes back like there's $10 spent in return for tourism and people wanting to invest in Ireland. So it makes sense,
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So speaking of Irish artists in theater,
Yeah.
you've been very busy in theater since Red Dead.
Yeah, it's what's funny, it's what I went to school for. I grew up in Ireland. I grew up in Cork in the south of Ireland, and I always wanted to get on stage. And since I was 8 or 9 years of age, whenever there was a school play happening, I was there auditioning for it, and I would get up there on stage, do my bit, learn my songs, and then when it came time to choose what I wanted to do after secondary school, or high school as it's called here, I just wanted to go to drama school and learn all about it. And I did. Spent a year in Cork studying. Then I went to Dublin for 3 years and studied in Inchicore in Dublin. And I just started auditioning and working on plays. I came to New York. I came to New York 26 years ago tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, May 1st. And I just fell in love with New York. I got a job working in a bar, and while I was working in the bar, I would audition. I would put plays on in the second floor of this bar and invite all my friends and invite customers from downstairs in the pub to come up and see stuff. And then I started working at theaters like the Irish Repertory Theatre here in New York and with other theatre companies. And it's just something I've always done all my life. And, it's like any other kind of career. It's when you look back at it, it's when you kind of start to realize, okay, yeah, I've done quite a bit. And gradually I just started doing more and more, and eventually ended up getting an agent and auditioning more and more, and got a few ads, a couple of little TV shows here and there, 1 or 2 scenes. And then all of a sudden I got this audition for Rockstar, and I ended up being very, very lucky to work with such a brilliant company and a cast. And since the game came out, yeah, I've been doing nothing but a lot of theatre, which I absolutely love. It's where my heart is. Actually, the first play I did after Red Dead Redemption 2 had finished was a play called A Guy Walks Into a Bar with none other than Roger Clark himself. The two of us ended up doing a play together at the Irish Centre in Queens.
Which Roger is also from Ireland.
Roger is, he's from Sligo as well. We're everywhere. There's Irish people everywhere.
Yeah, I know there's a lot of Irish in the cast.
Yeah. Actually, there's a lot more Irish people living in America and all over the world than there actually is in Ireland, which is the funny thing. We're one of those kind of countries, yeah.
So I just learned something recently, thanks to Zai. You weren't the original Sean.
Yeah.
Apparently. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah, there's
Apparently I wasn't.
one version of, I think, Sprig of Shillelagh that isn't done by you. And when I heard it for the first time, it scared me so bad.
Really? I have to listen to that. You have to send that to me.
Yeah, I'll...
Can you play it, Zai?
Because I did sing that. I did record it.
Yeah, I can see if I can
find
it
there's
here.
Your version's in the game, but there's
another version.
One of like the cut content that you can find, and it's the other Sean, and I kind of cried a little when I first heard it. I was like, that's not Mick. It's weird. It's not Sean.
God, that was so much better. Jesus. They might not have killed them off so quickly if they kept that one. Yeah, I didn't know that there was one out there. I didn't know that there was somebody else who played the part. And with these things, it's a lot of this is luck. And sometimes things work out. Sometimes there's other factors where it just isn't, somebody else might have a different gig or somebody needs to be replaced. I don't know why that was. But like I said, I was very lucky to be called in off the bench, I guess,
Right.
Did you find it, Zai?
Yeah.
Needs Irish man. He loves all that's lovely, loves all that he can, with a sprig of shillelagh and shamrock so green.
That compared to your version, it's
is
so
there
drastic.
Yeah, it sounds lovely as well. Like, who am I to, say? I think it sounds great, but
Yeah,
it's great, but it's not Sean.
It's great, but compared to getting used to listening to you the whole time and then hearing that,
he sounds like Bono. Maybe Bono was the original Sean. What do you do? Yeah, with a sprig of shamrock and shillelagh, so green. Yeah, maybe not.
You want to know something funny? So, since Mary did such great research for today's episode, my research literally consisted of just listening to Rye Whiskey over and over and over again. So we've talked about Sean's backstory. We've talked
Actually,
about
where are you guys located? Do you mind me asking?
I'm in Ohio.
You're in Ohio today, and Zai, where are you? Where are you?
I'm in Minnesota.
Oh, cool, very good. Well, it's close enough together, right?
No,
I hate
not
it
close
here.
enough.
Really?
I'm all the way up north, so I'm like in the middle of nowhere.
Oh wow, well, it sounds beautiful.
It's like 5 hours away from, or not 5 hours, 5 states away from each other. It's what, like a 10-hour drive?
Oh wow,
it's
Something
more
like
than that, right?
Yeah, 10 to 12 hours,
something like that.
I haven't been to Minnesota yet. I've been to Ohio a couple of times, and we have family in Ohio, so I've been there a couple of times. Been to Columbus and Cincinnati. I performed in Cincinnati, actually. I performed a couple of plays in Cincinnati.
That's cool. If I would have known, I would have been there.
Yeah, it's
I'm in Columbus.
Fun little spot.
Okay.
Very cool. So let's talk about Sean's party.
Yes.
The party for Sean when he comes back to camp.
Yeah.
Getting into Red Dead a little bit more. Let's start with Sean's announcement. Deadeye Macguire's back.
I'm back. The joy is back in your lives. One of my favorite parts of shooting Red Dead was those scenes, the party scenes. I absolutely adored it. I love singing. I love that whole kind of camaraderie around the campfire. And we spent a good couple of months doing a lot of that kind of work. And it was something I was really looking forward to seeing eventually, just to see how it would all come together, this party, including the business with Karen and all the rest of it. I knew that was going to be part of it all.
Oh, that's coming up.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
I really want to talk about that. What was funny, when I first played the game, I went off and played the game. I'm not very good at it. I've had the game for, how long has it been out? It's out 8 years this year, I think. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I still haven't
You've been
finished
streaming it.
I haven't finished it. I'm like, I think I'm still like on Act 4 or something. I'm just like, I wander around.
I said he's streaming it, by the way.
I just did for a bit of crack last week. I might get into it. And if I do decide to stream it, I'll go all the way back to the start. But yeah, so after I rescued myself, and they all go back to camp. As Arthur, I just went off hunting and fishing and took a little wander around and stuff. And I got back to camp the next morning thinking that the party would kick in then, when I arrived back. Not realizing, because I don't know these things, that it's in real time. So when I got back to the camp, I completely missed the party. I was like, what the fuck? What's going on here? So I was like, oh, shit. Wow, really? Like things don't just happen when you get to a certain point. Like, the rest of the world is existing while you're off messing around, going to the saloon after doing some hunting. So I had to go back and rescue Sean all over again just so I could go to the party that I had spent months working on and singing at to see how it actually looked. So that was my experience of the party the first time I saw it in game.
I love the party. That's probably one of my favorite parts of the whole game. Everyone's like, the Arthur and Lenny quiet time mission. But I'm like, Sean's party is like top tier, because that's like, you have the gang all together, we're partying, the vibes are immaculate, like things are great.
Yeah.
And then it just like falls apart. And I was not ready for Sean's death, but I'm gonna save that for later.
It's like, that's where I regret, because I speedran the game the first time I played it. I beat it opening weekend.
Really?
So it took me 3 days to beat it.
You're a
monster. So what did you do? You just went like on every single mission?
I did mission after mission. I started at midnight on the 26th, and I finished at like 3 p.m. on the 28th.
Wow, that's so cool.
I just ran around taming wild horses for like 6 months before I got the rest of the way into chapter 6. Like, I was right about to start the quiet time mission, and I just went off on a year-long quest of taming wild horses. And then I came back to the story.
It took me about 2 weeks.
I was like, oh, wow.
It took me about 2 weeks to figure out how to get on the horse without punching it, getting kicked, or shooting someone by accident. And even I did do that little stream last week. I had to ask people, like, how do I feed my horse? I mean, I don't know.
We got you.
Yeah.
Chat's got you.
During the making of the game, I did decide just to check it out, because you're going to hate me when I say this. I play FIFA. That's what I play. I'm a soccer nerd. I play FIFA. I sit there designing how my manager's going to look, and I pick my teams, and I sign players from all over the world, and I think I'm an actual manager of a soccer team. So it's not as involved as Red Dead. So I did try to play GTA 4 while we were working on Red Dead, just to get a feel for Rockstar games. The first Rockstar game I ever played was GTA 2, way back in the day, or the original Grand Theft Auto. The one where it was overhead and you're watching the guy walking around the city, and I loved that. But yeah, I played GTA 4 and I couldn't get on the bike. I couldn't get on the bicycle. I was like, what the fuck? I gave up after about 10 minutes. So, with Red Dead 2, I knew I had to invest some time into learning how to play the bloody thing, because you just have to.
It's such a detail-oriented game. There's so much. Like, I've been playing it. I've played story mode more times than I can count. I've had all the saves filled and then had to go over and save over old ones. I've 100%ed it twice. I'm about to hit platinum for the second time.
Wow.
And I'm still finding stuff I've never found.
And what are you both playing on? Do you both play on Xboxes or PS5s or 4s or what?
We played on both, but
both. Mainly PlayStation.
PS5 now.
PlayStation 5?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm threatening to buy one. I still have a PlayStation 4 and I love it. It's great. I figure if I keep it long enough, it'll become retro. So why not?
I still have my PS1.
Really? Yeah, I was looking at those.
PS2 and my PS3.
Oh wow! Yeah,
I have a GameCube and a Nintendo 64.
Awesome.
Yeah, my PS2 broke.
Yeah, I'm sure my age. I started playing video games on what was it called? An Atari 2600.
I was gonna say it's an Atari, isn't it?
I was thinking it.
Yeah, why? Because of the gray fuzz right here. Yeah. Thanks.
I mean, I wasn't an Atari kid, but I was a Sega kid.
I was a Sega. Cool. I was into Sega big time. Commodore 64 was my first serious one. I loved the Commodore 64. That was just it was a computer, but it was really, honestly, it was a computer, so your parents thought you were actually going to end up being like a computer engineer or something like that, or use it for typing. But really, people just played games on it, and I absolutely loved that computer system. It was great, the Commodore 64. Yeah, I still remember getting one for Christmas, and Platoon was the game that I got with it, which was just walking around. It was like a war game. But yeah, I loved the Commodore 64. And then a Sega Mega Drive, or I think you call it Genesis over here.
Yeah, we had the Genesis.
Yeah, it was Mega Drive in Europe, and I loved that. Loved Sonic. Yeah.
Yep. I was big Sonic and Tails.
Yeah, my friend across the street had a Super Nintendo, and I had a Sega Mega Drive. So, I'd spend some days in his place playing Mario and Mario Kart. Then he'd come to my place and play Sonic and all the sports games, NHL hockey and shit like that. Yeah.
My brother was a big gamer, so I had the Sega and the Nintendo 64. And so I would just always like sneak in and play it while he was at school.
Yeah, I loved it. I never got one, but I was a fan of mobile gaming. I remember when I was young, I had a Game Boy, which was just the coolest thing to have a little video arcade in your pocket.
I have mine literally sitting in a box right next to me right now. I have a Game Boy and a Game Boy Color or Game Boy Advance.
If you ever come to New York, you should definitely check out the Nintendo store down in Rockefeller Center. It's absolutely awesome, and they can actually buy all the original. They have all the original systems there. You can still buy and stuff. Yeah, it's cool.
Hell yeah. All right, getting back to Red Dead, getting back to Sean's party. Sean and Karen.
Bow, chicka, bow, bow. Yeah. Yeah, it's a very quick scene. It's a very quick Irish scene, yes. Sean and Karen. I love Karen Jones. I love to comment sometimes when people ask who's your favorite video game character on Instagram and stuff. I always say Karen Jones, and just leave it there in case anybody notices. Nobody really ever does because they don't know who the hell I am. But I love Karen Jones. I love Karen Jones because I love Joe Armanox, who plays Karen. Joe is one of the funniest and loveliest people in the world. She's just great. She's so funny. Confirm. Yeah, she's awesome. We had so much fun shooting those scenes. She actually recorded all of her lines in the tent before I got to record my ones. So when I went in to record my ones, I got to hear her. I got to hear Karen Jones. So I got to kind of respond to her. And it took me forever to stop laughing.
Understandable.
Yeah, it was just hearing her, like, is that
she
it?
Killed it.
And all this. Is that it? And I guess it is.
I think there's
cool.
I think there's a few different like variations you can get on that scene too.
There is.
I don't know if it's depending on. Oh, I haven't gotten that one.
I cry, yeah.
No.
Like, I see you. And she's like,
wait, I have done
somebody to see me. I'm like, I see you, Mrs. Jones. I see you.
I have gotten that one. Oh my god. Poor Sean.
I think there is. I maybe exempt it. I don't know.
No, I remember that one now. So there's also a scene where Sean is talking to Karen, Tilly, and Mary Beth.
Mm-hmm.
And Sean comes over and is like, which one of you will marry me?
That's right, yeah. Which one of you will marry me?
And then Mary Beth says, she will, and then points to Tilly, and Tilly's like, I will not. So do you think that Sean really had a thing for Karen, or he just wanted a girl?
Oh no, I think Sean and Karen actually have I think they had a strong connection. I think there was definitely something there. Obviously, it wasn't really explored that much. But I think there was some sort of a connection there. I think they had affection for one another. I think they both kind of maybe would have shared a similar kind of an upbringing together. I think they both would have arrived at the Van der Linde gang in similar kind of fashion, where they were kind of taken under the wing of Dutch and Hosea. So I think they shared that. I think that scene where Sean's kind of hitting on the girls, I never really saw that as him being lascivious, or kind of overly flirty. I think that's just him. I think that's just a bit of Sean's bravado. What he doesn't possess in cowboy skill, he kind of makes up with his brogue and his blarney, He has a touch of the blarney about him, where you can go to Cork in Ireland, where I'm from, and actually kiss a stone called the Blarney Stone, which gives you the gift of the gab. And I think that's something that I think a lot of Irish people have it. But I think certainly that's something that Rockstar leaned into with Sean. I think
Love
that's
that.
kind of him being more kind of humorous and just kind of, he's hello ladies. Like he fancies himself as a ladies' man, but in reality he really isn't. I think it was just more fun than anything else. I don't think I do think I think in a way maybe he was teasing Karen in front of the other girls. Maybe a little bit of that.
That's a
But I
good
do
way to
think
think of
I
that.
do think there was a connection there between Sean and Karen, definitely.
And then if you were not one of the girls in camp, if you were one of the boys, you were bullied by Sean ruthlessly.
Yeah, well, so I think Kieran was definitely bullied.
Especially Kieran.
Yeah, Kieran got a hard time. I think Sean
Mhm.
is definitely a bit further down the pecking order in terms of status in the camp. But again, he's one of these guys who will throw his little bit of weight around with people who he feels he can. So poor old Kieran, he got the brunt of it from Sean, especially about the whole Colm O'Driscoll thing. Like, I don't understand
Yep.
why don't people understand that COLM spells column? Like, what's the problem there? Myself and Roger had major chats about that behind the scenes.
Oh
And
yes.
Roger used to tell me, he says, I've tried to tell them, but they won't listen to me. And,
Love you,
I'm
Roger.
like, I'll fucking tell them. I came in one day and they had this scene written where I'm taking Kieran Duffy to task about the
Yeah,
mispronunciation.
you just headbutt him.
Loved him. And thankfully, with the equipment we had to wear, I couldn't actually get that close. Where Pico, who played Kieran Duffy so brilliantly, was in under any danger from Sean Macguire from me. I really love the scene with Lenny where Lenny is trying to teach me to read,
Yes.
and I'm just like, oh, kid, give up on me. Like, God gave me the gift of not being able to read, like all this. So I kind of loved how he kind of gives a little bit of bravado there with Lenny. I love the character of Lenny. I love all these characters because I love all the people who play them. And it's great when you actually watch the game and you're playing the game and you're brought back to like, oh, there's Harren, there's Joe, there's Ben, there's Roger, there's all these wonderful actors that
It's
you can
weird
see.
because I find myself, even when playing the game, like walking
Yeah.
through camp, I won't say the character's name. I'll end up saying your guys's.
That's funny.
I
Yeah,
concur.
listen, I think also another great thing about the whole community is, again, we all love all the community. It's one of the greatest gifts when we get a chance to meet you all at these events and Comic Cons and things. So I think there's something special about that as well. So I appreciate you saying that, Joy. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Getting back to chapter 3, Sean finds a white, or no, is it Jack or Sean? Sean.
Jack
Jack
does.
finds it. Jackie, little Jackie
Jack
finds it.
finds
The
Jack
white
finds the white
rabbit.
rabbit.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people might actually miss that scene because it's hidden dialogue, but
That's right.
there's significance behind the white rabbit.
Well, there
That's
is, and I love that scene because again, it shows just how much homework Rockstar did. Because I think in that scene, isn't he kind of after he talks to Jackie about like that's the spirit, that's important, and all the rest of it, that Arthur kind of dismisses it as old mumbo jumbo.
mm-hmm.
And I actually love that because it kind of illustrates Arthur is like kind of part of this new world, which is all about moving forward and not thinking about the mumbo jumbo of the past, like these kind of superstitions. And you kind of see that Sean still has a little bit of that old country kind of in him. So yeah, the white rabbit or the white hare, as we call it in Ireland, was often kind of described as a witch in the form of an animal. And because the rabbits and hares would burrow underground, there was a sense that there was something spiritual about them, and that they're part of the underworld, that they could kind of go between the underworld and what we exist in and all the rest of it. So there is a spiritual nature about that. Also, you have little superstitions where people would carry around things like a lucky rabbit's foot, you know. So I think it's a lovely little scene, and like you said, if you blink, you'll miss it. But I
kind of
think
funny.
yeah, it's cute.
I
It's funny, yeah.
So the white rabbit, what is the significance behind the white rabbit? Like what's the symbolic meaning?
Well,
Like
it represents. I mean, the white rabbit represents the other world. It represents what's out there. In Irish folklore, it's in Irish folklore like around Samhain, which is Halloween essentially. Samhain was an old Irish festival that Halloween came out of, where the veil between the afterworld and our world was at its thinnest, where spirits could pass back and forth, and spirits would take different shapes. So in Irish folklore, and I think in other folklores too, a white rabbit in particular represents like a shapeshifter or a witch. It could be a spirit. It could be a form that flits between the afterworld and our world and stuff like that. So that's kind of what it represents. And I think that's what Sean is telling Jackie at the time, like that this is something special. We still have a lot of these traditions back home in Ireland. You know, we still kind of believe in fairy forts. We still believe in, you know, the little things like that, like things that are unexplained. But I have this along the skirting board in my house here. It's a little Irish fairy door. And
I love
you can
that.
open it up, and it's just, you know, yeah, there's the little fella inside. Fucking open the door. Jesus. Need to put some oil on the thing. So you open up, and there's our little fairy just living inside. And life is a fairy tale, but to see it, you must open your eyes. Isn't that lovely? So yeah,
Cute.
So that sits right down next to my bar over here in my apartment, and that's where all the fairies live. Yeah, we were always taught, like growing up, if you saw like a ring of trees and things like that, don't disturb it, walk away. If you see like a ring of stones and stuff, leave it be. You know, these are things. And I know these are stories we tell ourselves and they're part of folklore, but there was a time in the past where these stories would influence people, and they were also lessons to help us kind of, you know, live lives without chaos and stuff like that. By the way, I love your wood burnings, and I think I can see Sean behind you there.
Yep.
Yeah, there's
love
Sean,
it.
There's John and Ivy, and I'm also working on another one that I haven't posted yet.
Oh, look at that. Beautiful. Sadie. She's going to love it. Yeah. But that's really cool. Yeah, there's more going on than what meets the eye.
Oh, yeah. And stories for days. I could do a whole podcast episode on just the stories that I've dealt with, but that's not very Red Dead, so.
But you should. I mean, listen, any way you get it out there, put it out into the universe, and it always comes back to you.
True.
And that's even as an actor, that's our thing is we call it a practice because it's a practice. It's like doing yoga. It's like, I mean, I'm not particularly religious, but I do have a side which I do. There's stuff out there that I don't understand, and that's okay, and I leave it be, and you respect it. But yeah, we all have our practices, and it's important to have those practices to keep us all sane because there's so much we just don't understand, especially in this world.
I mean, going back to the White Rabbit that started all this.
Yeah.
If there's symbolic of the White Rabbit, what does it mean when the White Rabbit is dead?
Personally, I don't know for sure. I personally think we never really die anyway. I think they just moved on to another realm, basically. Just because physically he's dead here on this earth doesn't mean people aren't still talking about it. And maybe sometimes it's just leave it be, let it rest. That's what I kind of think. I know the rabbit's dead in the game, so I think it could be also symbolic of like what's to come.
So what about the fact that Sean's the one who said it's off to Pearson's stew pot for you to the White Rabbit?
Yeah, that's Sean's kind of, I think again, that's Sean's dark kind of humor, you know? I think
but do you think
that's Sean.
The White Rabbit was a spirit and he said off to the stew pot?
Yeah, well, I mean, sustenance. Seriously, sustenance. Yeah. We all need to eat. Also, fair. I think you can respect the dead, you can respect all that, but these guys are living in the Wild West and they got to kind of use what they can to eat. And it would be a terrible thing to just waste it and let it rot, you know? I used to go fishing a lot when I was younger, and, you know, I do eat meat. But I hate the idea of wasting, you know, I hate stuff like that. So I think, you know, that's also, I think again, Sean has a bit of a humor. To me, Sean is one of the most humorous characters in the game. So when he does that, after being so sincere with Jackie and all the rest of it, kind of shows his practical nature. And I think it was kind of a funny little line. Off to Pearson's stew pot for you.
The theory is Karen is pregnant. Do you agree with that theory?
I don't know who came up with that
What are
theory.
your thoughts? Everyone.
Really?
It's
a
been
big theory.
one for a while.
I've never heard that. I never heard that
really?
at all.
Really?
Oh, never heard that theory at all.
Huh.
Because after
Yeah,
Sean's death,
yeah,
Karen falls fully into the bottle.
yeah. Fully into alcoholism.
Mm.
And
Yeah, I don't
obviously,
know.
like, she's sad about Sean, but do you think she could have been pregnant?
She could have been, you know. It was a quick encounter, but it's the only one. It's the only one we got to see, I suppose. I think that's an interesting theory. Maybe. I think I've often thought like Sean's death kind of heralded a turning point for the gang,
Yes.
and a lot of the
It
humor and the
absolutely
joy
did.
has gone out of their lives. I do think again. I think
Mhm.
Sean and Karen did have a connection. I think they had a deep connection there. I think she might be mourning him, um, but certainly it makes sense to think that if she was pregnant, then that would certainly kind of make sense. And yeah, I don't know. And again, I haven't finished the game, so there's a lot that I still kind of haven't seen myself. So
Hmm.
as I move forward into the game and start streaming and everything else, I'll certainly take a bit more notice of that. You know,
See,
Sean,
like, I
maybe Sean could
noticed.
have been a bit more careful there. You know,
So, like, I noticed. This is why I was kind of surprised that you didn't know about that theory. Is because I mean, maybe I like imagined it, but I swear towards the end of chapter 3, like right before Sean's death, like the last few missions before he dies, Sean and Karen get real quiet.
like
If
with
you
each
see them
other.
around camp, no, just in general, they just seem off. Like they
Yeah,
really seem quiet. Like something's like tense between them. Like they both have this weird like energy of like
there's like a little vibe kind of going
tense.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to. I mean, personally, I'd have to go back and play it again and kind of really kind of focus on that.
Right.
Um, I like it. I like the idea. I like the thought of it. I'll have to talk to Joe about it next time I see her. Like, here, what's the
So
story? Karen.
if Karen was pregnant, how do you think Sean would have felt about it? Do you think he would have been thrilled, or do you think he would have been like, "Oh shit"?
I'm not sure. I think it might have helped him grow up a bit, maybe. Um,
Yeah,
he
I
was
think
off.
Sean would have loved it because I think Sean loves Sean, and he
Yeah,
would have loved the Sean Jr.
I think we would have. I mean, I've often been asked like what the future would have held if Sean survived, and my future for Sean was always with Karen, somewhere raising a family. My future for Sean wasn't being this kind of lad outlaw. I think he would have loved to have settled down somewhere with Karen and become the mayor and mayoress of a little town out west, somewhere like that. That's I think would have been because he likes to talk, you know.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what I've often envisioned was him and Karen settling down somewhere, raising a family of mad young fellas and beautiful little girls.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, that would be
Fans are
that
gonna
would have
love
been my
that.
wish.
For real.
Maybe, yeah.
Fans are gonna love that. So there's another theory that we just discovered that I don't believe, and I have
don't
only
believe
heard
it.
the one time now. The theory is that Sean was the rat.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah! I've seen that video.
I
Oh
just
man,
stumbled across it, and I'm like,
yeah. Do you
interesting.
know, I was down in Florida doing a play, and and most nights I come home after performing, and I just go on YouTube and just watch old soccer matches and stuff. And one night I decided to look up Red Dead stuff just to see what people put out there. And this thing popped up. Sean Macguire is the original rat. I'm like, what? Come on. And I watched it, and the guy who made the video makes a very compelling case.
He does.
And he does. He's great. But I don't think Sean was the original rat. I know for a fact. I learned all the lines. I delivered
Right.
them. I think again, the game is so beautiful. It's so massive. You can take anything and create your own perspective and point of view.
Mm.
And I think he makes a very compelling case. Um, but I don't 100% buy it. It upset me a little bit when I went on YouTube and saw hundreds and hundreds of responses of all these people saying things like, "Oh my god, I love Sean, and now I can't look at him the same way." And I'm like,
Right.
"All right, calm fucking down, It's a piece of entertainment at the end of the day."
Hmm.
And I did make a comment. I made a comment on the whole YouTube thing where I was like, "This is great, well done, lovely video, really appreciate it." I disagree, but
I'm gonna have to
I
go
just
find that now.
yeah, and I just left
Right.
it at that. I disagree. I don't think Sean was the original rat. I can
I don't think
see
so
like
either.
how yeah, he was the one that was kidnapped and survived from Blackwater. Um, I mean, Sean came pretty close to getting his head blown off a couple of times. He was left hanging upside down in the middle of a shootout when you rescue him, where he very easily could have been shot and killed. And if he was a rat, he wouldn't be in vulnerable positions like that.
Mm-hmm.
You
Did you
know?
have to film that scene hanging from a
Oh
tree
yeah,
upside
yeah.
down?
That was one of the first ones I did. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. But they didn't actually hang me upside down. I just acted like I was hung upside down, and the magic of how they create these things, they made it appear that way.
Yeah, because I remember hearing from Roger when they did Blessed Are the Peacemakers when Arthur gets taken by Column, and that he was hanging off of just a table, and
Hmm.
then Andrew was beside him and working on the dummy and just whacking him.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. It's amazing how they actually make all this work. It's
Mm-hmm.
just incredible. They're just brilliant. Rockstar are just brilliant at what they do. You know. But yeah, to answer the question, I don't think Sean was the original rat. But hey, listen, if people want to put videos out there and put stuff together and work on Sean for hours and hours and hours and put content out there that talks about Sean Macguire for 45 minutes and show all his lines and create whatever they want out of it, I'm happy with that. I love it. Please, more. Do more. Make Sean the original rat. Make Sean, I don't know, make Sean fucking anything you want. Put Sean up on stage in Saint Denis. Make him the original actor, whatever you want to do. Yeah, the more
Oh,
Sean in our lives, the better.
we need that in a fan fiction.
Yeah, that's it.
Are there any other like hidden or not hidden dialogue, but like the cut scenes that I mean, you obviously haven't really gotten that far in the game to know, but if there are any like scenes that were cut from the game that Sean
Yeah,
had?
there's one scene where Sean Macguire he finds a lamp, like a genie's lamp, and he rubs it, and he's transported into the future, and he gets to play in GTA 6, and he's running all around the place like setting off bombs and traps for people, and then he ends up meeting up with Mario from Super Mario Land, and he
I love
becomes
that.
he becomes a voice actor in Hollywood working on the new Mario movie, um,
Replaces
as
Brad Pitt.
Bowser. Yeah, and it's a whole thing. It goes on for about 6 or 7 hours. It's great. And then it ends with him waking up in the tent with Karen. He's like, "Hey, Karen, I just had a magic there, and I can't explain it."
I love that.
Yeah, and there's another scene where he ends up dancing with Dutch and Micah and under the moonlight,
Oh, that's awesome.
and they're all half naked and stuff.
Oh, wow.
Honestly, I don't know if there's other cutscenes out there with Sean.
Honestly,
That's
Zai
it.
is the one to know.
Yeah. Oh,
Zai
really? Would you?
Zai
Are
finds
there
all of
ones?
it.
I have done so much work on cut content. It's bad. I can tell, like, I'm huge Dutch fan, huge Ben
Yeah.
fan.
Love
I
Dutch.
got his handwriting tattooed on me.
There you go.
um, but I, it's just, Dutch is complex. Nobody's gonna figure him out. But I can kind of tell when, like, it was Ben in that spot or if it was a different actor.
Really?
Like when in chapter 6 with Molly's death,
Mm-hmm.
Ben has said and Penny has said that it wasn't Ben that was there, and I could tell that
Really? I didn't
just
know. I
based
didn't
off
know that.
of the movements.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That's wild.
Because I think,
She acts like Dutch when she's just standing around at work. She'll start standing like Dutch.
yep,
She's got a problem.
I do.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love Ben. Ben's great. We speak every now and then. We call each other up and just see how we're all doing. And I do. I talk to Ben every now and then. He's great. I remember when we were making the game, he'd spend time in the green room doing his New York Times crossword puzzle. He's a very clever guy and a lovely man and a lovely actor as well.
Yeah, because I know he's got I think the Ice Cream Man coming out in August.
He's doing some great work. Yeah, he's doing some wonderful stuff. So I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Yeah, that's exciting because I'm a
Yeah.
huge horror fan, and
Awesome.
the original is amazing. So
Oh, that's cool that he's involved in that. That's cool. That's really cool. Looking forward to it myself.
yes,
So if Sean would have lived and made it to chapter 6, I mean, obviously there's the question of would he have been in the bank robbery? Would he have gone to Gorma? But he had made it to chapter 6 and Dutch starts falling apart. Do you think he would have stuck around, or do you think he would have like been like, okay, Karen, let's leave?
I think he would have definitely been on the side of Arthur. I think his relationship with Arthur Morgan was kind of tight. I think he kind of looked up to Arthur like he was like his big brother. And I think if the opportunity arose, he would have vamoosed with Karen. It would have been, let's get out of here. And possibly with a few of the other characters too. I think maybe he would have, himself and Lenny. I think Sean and Lenny were kind of pals. I think him and Lenny and Karen maybe would have headed off somewhere by themselves. That's kind of what I've often thought, you know.
Do you think he would have had kind of a strong reaction to Molly O'Shea being killed?
Yeah, I think that's a moment where you're like, wow. And you just said there about like not being able to figure out Dutch. I think Molly is somebody who kind of did figure out who Dutch kind of was. She was shot by Grimshaw, right?
Yep.
I
will never get over Penny's performance in that cutscene. It is
so good.
It's so nice.
Penny is unbelievable. She's wonderful. Another brilliant Irish actor.
Yes.
Gotta talk about the online stuff.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah.
Sean Macguire is on Red Dead Online.
What the fuck, buddy? Yeah. Yeah, he is, and I didn't know what was going on when they were saying that. I was like, "What do you mean online? Like this is set in the 1890s. Like they didn't have online back then." So they had to sit down and actually explain to me, as if you were explaining what the internet was to like a 2-year-old from outer space. And I was like, "But how do you mean? People aren't they going to play the game? Like what we made, the game that's here?" Like, yeah, but then there's an option for them to go online. I'm like, well, why do they have to go online if they have the game already? So yeah, that was my introduction to the world of online. I mean, I was like, what the fuck is this? And I tried it for like 5 minutes, and I couldn't. I made a character and everything, and I went online, and then people just started showing up and killing me. I'm like, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. It takes a little bit of getting used to switch from story to online. I will admit, it did take me a while too.
All these people were called griefers or something. I couldn't get my head around that. I just couldn't get my head around it. So I was like, all right, good luck. There's
settings you can do to like get people to leave you alone, or you can like join private sessions so people leave you alone.
Oh really? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I've just never really done it. Never got into it. Yeah. I'm like, all right. Yeah. So.
Yeah, it took us really until Deadwood to actually get into it.
I mean, it's a great way to connect with other people. I guess you know that's kind of cool. You know, to connect with other people and stuff. But yeah, I've never. But yeah, it was brilliant. I was thrilled that Sean was part of that. I was like, this is fantastic. Now I can say I'm in 2 video games. I'm in Red Dead 2 and Red Dead Online. Great.
Right.
I was so excited when I found Sean in Red Dead Online, because before you find him, like it's just a question mark on the map. You don't know who it is. So I just like went to this question mark, and I was like, oh shit, we get more time with Sean, because I loved Sean. Sean was one of my favorites.
I appreciate that. He's back. The bitch is back. Yeah, no, it was great. I love the fact that they gave Sean a bit more time like that. I really appreciated that, you know, and who knows if I don't know what's going on with Red Dead or with anything that Rockstar do, but you know, as I said, the more Sean, everyone needs a bit more Sean in their lives, you know.
I'm like, I would love a prequel. It's the only thing that makes sense.
Yes. Yeah, we can't go on with Jack's story. It wouldn't be Red Dead. It wouldn't be the Wild West.
Yeah. I think they should set it in Ireland and have the whole story of just Sean, like, you know, being part of the Phoenix. You know, call it Top of the Morning Redemption or something like that. You know?
I'd play it.
I wish they kept on doing DLCs, because there's so many options with Red Dead 2 they could have gone.
Yeah. The one thing I don't like is all the talk about people wanting to make movies and stuff. That always bothers me. And
I'm like,
oh yeah. Every time they do that and they start saying, who would you cast for Red Dead the movie? I'm like, I would cast the original actors.
Yeah.
I want the original actors to be the same.
For me, it's not even that. For me, it's just the game is such a piece of art on its own.
It is.
I don't think it requires.
That's
I don't
just
think it
it's
needs
like, I'm sorry, there's 20 hours of just the cutscenes.
Exactly. There's enough there,
Mhm.
and also I just think that that's what they do really well.
Yes.
Uh,
Mhm.
and I don't know. I've often just felt like that a movie version of it would somehow dilute it.
It would
And
have to be a
Yeah.
series if they did it. There's no
yeah,
way
I
could
think
they could do it in a movie.
I think it would kind of just dilute the whole lore of the
Mm-hmm.
game.
But yeah, it's also
And
just so
it's iconic. It lives on its own as it is.
Mm-hmm.
it's
Lives
so
on its
immersive. You would
Yes.
lose the
exactly.
immersiveness of it if you
Yeah.
made it a show.
If it became a
You can't
show of
like
something other, then it's just not the same.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
so
That's my two
Sean's
cents on
death.
that.
Sean's death.
Yeah, it was mind blowing. It was head banging. He lost his mind. Yeah. All the other little things you can say about it, all the funny little moments.
Oh,
It sucked. It
it
sucked.
did suck.
Yeah.
It was it sucked. I think it was a massive turning point in the game. I think it was the moment where a lot of people realized, holy shit, this isn't just fun and
Mm.
games. This isn't just like
Yep.
a nice, fun little ride on your horse in the Wild West. There's actually something at stake here. And that's what I felt about it.
Yep.
Also,
Same.
the fact that Sean was the last to be rescued, basically the first to be kind of killed.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mhm.
It was the
I
first.
know it meant that Sean was like had a little bit more less time than many of the other characters. But I think that's kind of fine in a way because I think it kind of again it served a very dramatic kind of arc and purpose
Mm-hmm.
for the overall story, which I really appreciated. So it didn't really bother me that. Obviously, I would have loved to have more Sean in the game, but I think ultimately, I think his death scene is really important. I think
Mhm.
I also have seen a lot of reaction videos from folks playing the game when it happens, which I find on one hand hilarious, but on the other hand very very kind of lovely to see people's reaction. People are kind of stopped in their tracks, like holy shit, what just happened?
Mm-hmm.
But
Yep.
yeah, I didn't. When I got the script, I was like, "What do you mean?" I could have told you that dot dot dot. What does that mean? And again, they had to sit me down and be like, "Well, this is what happens. Sean's going to die." I'm like, "No, Sean, my
Oh.
boy." But yeah, listen, it's all part of it. It's all part of the story.
Yeah.
I think it's part. I think his death is part of what makes the story brilliant and
Mm-hmm.
great.
And
So it doesn't bother me in that regard.
yeah, it's
Just
like
wish I got an extra 6 or 7 or 8 months to do more scenes, but
right.
that's just me being a selfish actor. The overall arc of the game, I think it was a very important part of the storytelling.
Yeah, and that's
Um,
just it. The fact that we go from Sean's death to immediately being thrown into arguably one of the best missions in the game with going back to the Braithwaite Manor after
yeah,
then Jack's kidnapped and burning it down
yeah,
is just a crazy switch up, and it's so chaotic at that point.
yeah. It's epic. It really is
Mm-hmm.
epic. It's great.
Mhm.
It's brilliant storytelling. It's awesome
Do
storytelling.
you do you think that they didn't really spend enough time mourning Sean because
And
they go right into partying for Jack?
yeah, I don't think so. I think life moves on. Things move on. He was a cog in the wheel.
Mhm.
I think we celebrated Sean quite a lot when he was rescued. I think
Yeah.
that was fine. In terms of moving the story along, I think yeah they had something to do. Life moves
Yeah.
fast. They
Mm-hmm.
had to get out there and rescue Jack. So yeah, I mean that's just it. That's all right. He's gone. Okay, it's shocking, but in real life it kind of happens like that too. It sucks. We all face tragedy. We all face pain, but ultimately, the sun goes down and it comes back up again the next morning, and we move on. You know,
Yep. Rest in peace, Sean.
rest in peace,
Right.
Sean. Gonairi on Boher Lat, Sean. May the road rise to meet you.
Yeah, that scene was like I was playing it. Like I said, I just was taming wild horses, and I'm like playing it. I'm like la 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 la, and then Sean died, and I was like, oh, okay,
Yeah. It's also
that's
interesting.
that's how this game is.
Yeah, it's also
And I was
interesting
up,
that it's Bill and Micah who are there. That's the other thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, yeah.
I was up all night that night playing that game. After that happened, I was like, okay, I can't sleep. I gotta finish this.
Yep.
I gotta make sure I do my best for poor old Sean.
Well, you did a great job as Sean.
Ah, go
You
on. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, and And like I said to you earlier, I love the fact that you guys are doing this podcast. It's one of my favorite things in the world to see like so many creative people just pouring so much time into their creative energy and putting stuff out into the world. So thank you guys. It's great. And I can't wait to listen to it. I can't wait to see what else you guys do.
Oh, thank you.
Any closing thoughts before we end this episode?
When do you think it's going to come out? I can't wait to hear it.
This one's going to release next week, May 7th.
May 7th, my birthday.
Oh, happy birthday! I'll have to
Thank
write that
you.
down. I'll send a happy birthday on the 7th.
Oh, thank you.
I will, of course. And where can we listen to it? What's the story? Is it on Spotify and stuff or what?
It's on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon.
Fantastic.
YouTube.
That's great. Yeah, I'm going to start listening. I can't wait to start listening.
And just a little shout out for you. Mick has a Cameo. So if you also want a happy birthday message from Sean Macguire.
I actually do. Yeah, I do Cameo. It's at Mick Mellamphy on Cameo. I actually did about 3 or 4 of them just right before I got on here with you guys today, just to warm up my voice. And nice. I absolutely love doing them. I have a lot of fun with them. I love nothing more in the world than roasting people or wishing them a happy birthday. I love singing, so I always sing a little happy birthday to you. Also, yeah, I'm on Instagram as well. That's my social media, at Mick Mellamphy on Instagram. If you see a picture of me, that's me. If you see a picture of a guy in a boat with a fishing rod, that's my dad. So, please don't message my dad about Red Dead Redemption stuff. You can message him about fly fishing all you want, but not about Red Dead Redemption. And I'll be doing a musical here in New York City this coming fall in November. I'll be performing in a musical. If there's anybody out there in New York City in November, you want to come see me dancing and singing in a play, check out my Instagram. All the info will be there, and I'll be happy to sign any Sean Macguire shite afterwards and say hi and take videos and have a bit of crack. That's Irish crack, like fun.
Hell yeah, let's do crack with Sean.
Yeah, have a bit of crack with Sean. Sounds like a daytime TV talk show. Crack with Sean. Yeah. Well, listen, thank you so much, guys, for inviting me, and I wish you nothing but the best of luck with this. All right.
Yeah.
You're also going to be at Mid-Hudson Comic Con.
Yes.
Mid-Hudson Comic Con. That's right. Thank you for that. August 1st and August 2nd. I'll be at Mid-Hudson Comic Con up in Poughkeepsie, New York. So if there's any outlaws up around there, or you want to travel and come to it, I'd be delighted to see you guys. I think Kylie Bernhoff, who plays Susan Grimshaw, and I think Roger Clark is going to be there too.
I think Peter and Mia
Rob
also.
Yes, Mia is going to be there. Peter's there. I think Rob is going as well. So there's going to be a good few of us up there. So that should be a lot of fun. And also I'll be at Dublin Comic Con in Ireland next March, 5th and 6th of March next year in 2027. So for all our pals in Ireland and the UK, I'll be there. So if you fancy a pint, I'll be in Dublin.
Very cool. Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure, guys. Outlaws for life.
Outlaws for life.
Outlaws for life.
And that's it for us today, partner. Thank you so much for spending some time with us here at the Outlaw Haven. It really means a lot to us. If you like what you heard, we upload every Thursday at 3 a.m. Eastern Time, so make sure you follow or subscribe wherever you're listening so you don't miss what's coming next. I'm Sam.
And I'm Zai.
And this is the Outlaw Haven.